Okay, so we are recording. So we're gonna go ahead and do orthographic 9, and we're gonna start on this view here. So um, I think this is not too bad of one to do. So the front view, it actually spells it out here. The front view, um, and then we're gonna do front, left, and top. So I generally, the way that I work is I count these out. Just 2, 3, 4. 11 and 12. Okay, so that's good. So we know it's 1-to-1 scale. And I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This actually saves you a lot of time to do this. And then you'll notice the other thing that I do quite often is I find the corners. And so let's look real carefully on here. Let's zoom in. I want to define this shape. So I will generally go to the outside corners and find the corner and just see where they meet. All right, so we want to make sure we're working within the space here. It just makes our life much, much easier. All right, so I think we're good. All right, so let's just start over on this. Let's start on what's easiest. Let's start on over here 12, and then we'll make this rectangle and we'll work our way over. I think that'll be an easier way of doing it. All right, so let's zoom out here. All right, so let's go ahead and build this from the front view. I know if I was sitting here looking at this structure, I don't know why it would be sitting there. What would I be looking at? It would be like, what would this be, guys? I don't know. So here I am, got nothing to do.
A dollhouse?
Okay, could be. Or a little play structure, so my little kids are running around. Yay, Daddy, thank you for taking us to the park, right? They're running around. They're about to dive into this crazy structure at McDonald's or whatever, right? So I'm looking at this thing. There's a little hole here that little Johnny and Sally can jump through. All right, so they're going to go running through here. There's a slide they're going to jump on, so maybe there's some little steps going in there. And, you know, safety's not a big concern at these parks, so let's do that. And so it froze, which is not helpful. Come on, unfreeze. All right, so let's build this little ladder area here to the right. And if it freezes, you can blame my Xbox son. What am I going to do? All right, so let's build this here. And then it goes over. So little Johnny climbs up, goes up and over. And so all the way back and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 feet. Because I'm going to say these are all to feet. So 6, 7, 8. So here's the thing. Let's just, for kicks, let's look at, say, if we were making this to scale, what scale would this really be? If I said that each one of these units was a foot, right? So if we were saying that, all right, this is a structure that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 feet tall, right? So that's 8 feet. And it's 12 feet. And we said it's 8 feet this way. The only way that would work is if each one of these was 12 inches, right? So if we say that's 1 foot, so the way that you would scale this is I would take my ruler here and I would say, all right, so here's a regular ruler. If you notice, it's 1, 2, 3/16. So if I was writing this to scale, I would say 3/16 inch equals 1 foot. All right, dash 0 inches. That is the scale that we are actually working in. All right, so it's not any more complicated than that. It may seem like it's really complicated, but here's a grid, and I'm saying that this is This grid here we said was 12 feet. Excuse me, sir and Sally. If we said that's 12 feet, then that's 1 foot. And then my scale is 1, 2, 3/16. Right? That's 3/16, 1/16, because 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 8, 9. So these are 16th, and we know it's 16th because there it is. So it's taken a foot and it's broken down into 16th. So 3/16 equal 1 foot. It's not really all that relevant to what we're doing today, but just so you know, there is a scale, right? If we decide we want to have a scale, that's your scale. Oh, I get it, Smith. Yes, it is, right? So little Johnny has climbed up here and gone up, back, we said, but on this view, we're going to go up 8. So there it is. Let me zoom out. So we went up 8 feet. And then we're going to go over, I think we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again, and then go down the slide, and it stops at 2 feet up. It's really fast. A lot of kids break their legs on this park, but it is what it is. It's the park back in the 70s. All right. All right. So there's that. And then the little portion here with the slide, it's 2 feet over, so I'll go 2 feet over, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if that works, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bingo. All right, so we're good. So far, so good. You're only going to see one line on the bottom, and then let's draw. I think all I need to draw here is the circle. So the circle is. The center of it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we said that's 8, 8, 7, 6, 5 feet over. So 5 feet over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So it's actually easier if I do say this is in feet. All right. So I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 5 feet and down 4. And that's the center of my circle. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, cool. So then the circle itself has a diameter of 4 feet or a radius of 2 feet. Bless you. I know you're erasing. All right, the cool kids would use a compass, but us losers who aren't prepared in high school don't even bring a straight edge to their geometry class. We're going to freehand it. All right, so there we go. So I think we're good there. So that's a little structure that little Sally likes to run through. Little Sally will also sit in here and she will contemplate her life and her existence. You know, when you're like 12 years old or so, that's when you actually realize that you will die someday. And it's a very, very deep, very kind of sad. I don't know if you guys realize, but I will at some point, I will die sometime. I don't, right? My physical self. So that's what Sally's doing in there. She's contemplating life. All right. So Sally's in there contemplating, and little Jimmy is running around coming down the slide, like having a great time. He doesn't care because he's never going to die. So he thinks. All right. How did this class get so deep? I am so sorry, Jake. You bring out the worst in me. All right. Very deep class, playground structure, but I think we're adding meaning to what we're doing. All right. So let's look at the top. I can't believe I'm recording this. Let's delete this recording.
Professor, what is that on the top left quadrant of like the circle, that like weird arc right there?
Oh, so that's a good question. So what we're seeing there is the depth. This is the circle in the front, but see where she's sitting, right? If little Sally's in there.
I see. Okay.
She's sitting, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the depth of the. I should draw people better. Usually I can. I'm not doing too well with my people today. But there's Sally. She's sitting in there, and so that's where she's hanging out, right? So that's the depth of that area. All right. I could have made it a fish tank with a window, but I decided not to. I want Sally to have her space. All right. So let's go ahead and do the top view. So we got the ladder. So Jimmy's going all the way back here, and it's a 2 feet. Safety is really not a big concern of the 70s. I mean that it really was not a concern of people in the 70s. I mean, I had a motorcycle. I was racing a train, which inherently is dangerous, but that's where my dad let me ride the motorcycle. And my friend cut me off. And you know, those telephone poles have the wires that support. And I remember I went in the bushes and I hit that thing and I went flying head over, whatever. I'm laying on my back. My motorcycle then comes and I had to like get out of the way. It actually cracked the frame of my motorcycle. That's how hard I hit it. And if that happened to me today, they would literally have to life flight me out of there. When you're 13 or 12 or 11, you just kind of like get up because your bones are all, and then you just ride home. And they probably, when you're sitting at dinner with your mom and dad and they ask you what you do today, what? No, nothing. Like now it would be like epic. Like I would talk about it forever. And right. So
Did you
this
break
is
any bones?
what I'm trying. No, I didn't break it. What I'm trying to say is safety in the 70s. It just wasn't a real big concern. I did have a helmet on though. Okay. All right. So let's finish this little slide. You notice, so they actually sharpened the slide because that's what they did in the 70s. They just wanted people to be really tough. And so, they didn't sharpen it, but it's pretty sharp. 1, 2 back. If you think I'm not being serious, ask your parents. When you would go on road trips with your family, nobody wore seatbelts. And when you go around corners, you'd all try to roll around in the back of the car. Like it was like fun. It was fun. Nobody cared. Like my wife's father, he had an accident once on a bridge. He went through the windshield. It was like that's like normal. So wear your seatbelt. Okay, so from the top view, I think I'm doing okay. It seems a little short. Oh, I forgot this little top of the slide. 1, 2, 3, 4 feet back. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then I need to make the center mark. I'm not even going to measure because I like to live dangerously, as you know. So I'm just going to refer to the drawing below, and let's just make that center line here. And then I'll make the hidden line. All right. So if you're working properly, you can just measure off your drawings that you're working on next to it. Okay. So Jake, am I doing okay?
Perfect.
All right. Left side. I've been on a lot of tangents. I apologize. It's really not that hard to do.
You can talk about that guy going through the windshield a little more.
That's Jim Wilson, my father-in-law. And then you don't realize, but when you live on the East Coast, especially, there is like snow and ice, and there are just you wipe out in your car all the time. It's just kind of part of the deal. You don't see old cars on the highway, whereas in California, you see cars from the 70s and 80s. It's just, but because they all rust out too. 1, 2, 3 over. I talked to your boss, Jake. We're going to do a design project in our product design for SolidWorks class. We think we're going to design a multi-tool. Don't tell anybody yet, all right?
Your secret's safe with me.
Okay, and Jake, you're going to be running it on the CNC machine. And your boss, Autodesk, is going to pay you.
Thank you.
I'll probably have to do it with you and Teddy.
Discussing this with 30 people as well.
Yes. All right, so I'm giving you free money here. I got to draw these hidden lines. So hidden line here. And then I have to draw this hidden line. there where Sally's sitting in there. And then the center line. Gap there. All right, Jake, I think I did it. I got a little carried away with Sally and Jimmy and their little play structure. Jake or Chris, Bain, have I missed anything that you see? When I make this recording and I offer it to you, I'm going to just delete the audio. You know, some whacked out teacher from the 70s. Okay. I think we're good here. I think we're good. All
You're
right.
missing the length lines for the circle on the bottom right.
Yeah, I am. Thank you. I didn't want to hurt Sally, but I'm just going to go right through her head here. Boom. I think we got everything there. Okay,
Isn't
so
there on the left side an edge line two up from the bottom?
yeah, there is. Tell me how to do my job.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. No, looks good. I think, is that it? I think that might be it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. All right. You know, I'm a tenured teacher, and I remember when I was not tenured, I was always terrified that I would say something really bad, and I think I finally did today. So but I don't think they could. I don't think there's anything they could fire me for. I was a crazy kid in the 70s. What are you going to do? All right. All right. So Jake, are we good? I'd like to move on to do the demo of the vehicle that we're all going to do, if that would be okay.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead and do that vehicle demo.
All right. So let's rock and roll here. So we're going to do. So what I'm going to do then is before I start drawing it, let's just review. Maybe I'll even print it out. Let's review what we're going to do again. All right, so we're going to do this to scale. And so when I do this demo here, I will also, I'll also do a little talk about the scale, because everybody's going to do the same scale. So what we record here will help you. Print this out.